right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson, Lord's wills, edifying to the Lord's elect. Okay. Wow. Dallas Cowboys Neyland dies at age 24. Crazy, man. Jake, of course, dead, age 24, man. I wonder why. Neyland was drafted by the Cowboys in the second round in 2024 and played 18 times for the team, including 4 starts. He scored his first touchdown in Tuesday's defeat to the Arizona Cardinals when he recovered a blocked punt. Marshawn was a beloved teammate and member of our organization, the Dallas Cowboys said. Our thoughts and prayers regarding Marshawn are with his girlfriend, Catalina, and his family. Neyland was selected by Dallas with the 56th overall pick of the 2024 draft after playing college football for Western Michigan. His agent, Jonathan Persley, said his heart aches for the passing of a player who poured his heart into every moment. I watched him fight his way from a hopeful kid at Western Michigan with a dream to being a respected professional for the Dallas Cowboys, Persley said. 24 years old. Why are they dying like that, man? Why are they getting put to death like that, you know? It don't make any sense. It don't make any sense, man. You grab this in the book of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. So he's basically saying is, man, you want to seek the Creator before you get all old or before you die, before the evil day. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. So you just like, you know, before that evil day, man, before these stores start closing up, before you lose all your jobs, you lose all the opportunity to serve the Lord, this is the time to be seeking Him. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when all the sound of grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay, so you're not gonna, before the daughters of music, talking about, you know, Brother Say is talking about the music industry, but the whole verse is about seeking the Creator before you get old, man, or before that day come, man. You 24 years old, the Lord could have got a lot out of you, man, and you know what? You probably would have skipped going to this stupid ass. You would have known. I probably don't want to toss a football in these last days, okay? Yes, Gerardo, I do believe in God. But why is it a lowercase g? Don't you know the Most High God in the Bible with a capital G? That's talking about the Most High God, okay? And this is why I'm out here, man, because a lot of people, man, they don't really understand the Bible, man. They don't understand it, you know? So the Lord sets up men so they can go out here and teach this truth. Because if you in the last days still calling on God, God just means power. Okay, there's a lot of gods, there's many gods. So what God are you talking about, Gerardo? Nice, mate. Ah, man, you a funny dude, Gerardo. Yeah, there's many gods though, man. We gotta be careful of this. We can't be like children anymore, man. When it comes to the spiritual things, the whole world believes in a God that doesn't even exist. Actually, the God, he existed before. You know, a man called Caesar Borgia, but the Lord put him to death a long time ago. And y'all still worshiping him like he's some type of God. As a matter of fact, let's go over there in the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, since Gerardo said that. Gerardo said, hello, mate. You from the UK, Gerardo? Where you from, man? Where you from, Gerardo? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, and verse number 1. It says, for thy incorruptible spirit is in all things. As a matter of fact, let me jump down. Let me just get to the point. I know it's somewhere in 12. I keep going. For thy incorruptible spirit is in all things. That's what the first verse says. The incorruptible spirit is the Lord. Okay? So King Solomon saying the Lord's spirit is in all things. So you really can't hide from the Lord. It's not just in people, you know? It's in the walls, it's in the ground, it's in everything. So he can see you in everything. It's in all things. It's incorruptible spirit. When you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, talks about the pureness of wisdom. As a matter of fact, let's go into there. Let's go over there as a matter of fact. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. And I start at 18 and read down. I think the point's in like 20 somewhere. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. Actually, let's start at 17. For he have given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made in the operation of the elements. So this is King Solomon saying how the Most High God, Yahweh, gave him this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the elements. Okay? Right now we have, I believe, 118 elements on the periodic table. Okay, those elements, some of those elements are newly created. So the Lord gives you that type of wisdom. Okay? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. Verse 18, the beginning, ending, in the midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun and the change of the seasons. So he told King Solomon all these things. All right, the change of the seasons, okay, the alteration of the turning of the sun. So King Solomon knew this information. Good morning, sir. Wisdom of Solomon 7, verse 19, the circuits of years and the positions of stars. So you know the circuits of years and the positions of stars. The natures of living creatures and the furies of the wild beasts, the violence of winds and the reasonings of men, the diversities of plants and the virtues of roots, and all such things as are either secret or manifest, them I know. Okay, and how does he know that? You go to Proverbs, the 2nd chapter, the Lord gives you all this wisdom. All wisdom was given to you from the Lord, even on the left-hand side. Especially these missiles that are coming out too. That's all given to the men from angels. Angels give these people the inspiration to do the things that they're doing. I'm inspired to come out here today because an angel put the instructions within me. As a matter of fact, let me grab that in the book of Job. I don't want to just be talking, man. It's the book of Job, chapter 30. I haven't been there in a while. So everything you do, you're inspired by something, okay? And we hope that it's the Lord. And we hope the Lord is inspiring you to seek Him. Give you that inspiration so you could be getting into these scriptures and learning for yourself. So you're not like the rest of the world calling on a God and don't know the name of the Lord. When the name of the Lord, that's an important thing to have in these last days, especially when Jacob's trouble's coming around the corner. Book of Job, chapter 30. 8. No, that's 38. 30 something though. I haven't grabbed it in a while. I gotta look for it. I gotta look for it. The Lord sealeth the instructions upon men in the slumberings of the bed. Job, KJV. 33. Job 33. It's the book of Job, chapter 33. In verse 15, it says, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed. So when you're sleeping at night, in your deep sleep, the REM sleep, that's when this is what the Lord does. Then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instructions. So that's when the Lord will seal the instructions on the things you're going to do the next day. that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. So sometimes you might think, all right, I'm gonna do A, B, and C tomorrow, and then next thing you know, you're coming across one of the men of the Lord, and you learning about the scriptures. You thought you might have missed your bus or something, whatever it is. You know, you forgot you was on your way somewhere, then you forgot something at home, and then you come back, and next thing you know, man, setting up, you're asking questions, and then that's how the Lord finds you. Okay, that's how he's seeking you. Okay, you turn on your phone, you just going through the channels, and you stumble across a man of the Lord talking about something that's how the Lord get this word out to you. Okay, he gets this word out to you that way. Okay, so he sealed these instructions. Job 33:17, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. He keepeth back his soul from the pit and his life from perishing by the sword. This is how he keeps your life, man. Because this is the book of life, man. This is how you get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you come alive, meaning to be quickened. You get made alive through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Proverbs 21:16 tells you that a man who wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. See, I'm no longer dead. I'm alive because I know who the Lord is. I know what he wants me to do. Okay, that's from the Lord. Okay, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, and verse number 22. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me. For in her is understanding, spirit holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good. That's the spirit, man. Okay? Ready to do good. And it teaches you all these things. That's how the Lord, he'll send the spirit to you. Ultimately, the Lord is sending angels to you, man, to give you to seal these instructions inside your mind. Okay? I didn't wake up today thinking, how am I going to rob a bank? You know, so I thank the Lord, for that, to have these thoughts to come up and serve him, man. Because I know according to Matthew the 6th chapter that seek the kingdom first and all these things shall be added unto you. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, man. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 in verse 23. Kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle spirits. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. Okay, so she's so pure, she can pass through all things. Just like Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai was passing through things when he returned, once he had that new body. That's how you know you're pure. Okay? And that's how wisdom operates. So going back to Wisdom of Solomon, the 12th chapter, where it says his incorruptible spirit is in all things, that's showing you something, man. Okay? That's showing you that the Lord is everywhere. That's showing you that Lord is all-knowing, all-seeing. He's all-power. He's omnipotent. All right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 25. For she is the breath of the power of God, with a capital G. And that's talking about Yahweh, the Most High God. In a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her. So you're not going to get this wisdom if you're defiled. Okay? Ultimately, it's not for you. It's the Lord. It's the Lord. The Lord chooses who it comes to. Okay? Because we, according to Isaiah 64:6, we're all our righteousness is we're all unclean. Okay? So it's a gift from God is what I'm trying to say. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8. All right. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light. She the unspotted mirror of the power of God in the image of his goodness. And that's what the wisdom does to you. It tells you, it explains these things to you. Okay. Image goes into order. Okay. So that's what wisdom does. All right. It gives you this. It gives you that understanding. All right. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. And being but one She can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new, and in all ages entering into holy souls. She maketh them friends of God and prophets. Okay, so she maketh them friends of God and prophets. Okay, that's what this wisdom does. So I'm happy that the Lord put the spirit on me to come out here and prophesy downfall of Esau, Edom, or whatever he got me going into today. Okay, because I just go through the spirit, see what you want to show me. Okay. For God loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. Okay, so he loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. So I feel loved, okay, to have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right? And I hope the Lord feels loved too by me being obedient to the best of my ability. All right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and 29. For she is more beautiful than the sun, and above all the order of stars, being compared with the light, she is found before it. Okay, so she's being compared with the light. Okay, just like this is the light, man. This is the light. All right, that's what that's saying. For after this cometh night, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. Yeah, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. That's why it tells you in Isaiah 33 that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of the time. So a lot of people, man, y'all don't got the wisdom, so you ain't gonna be stable in the times to come. You think you're gonna need some type of government assistance. Well, the more destabilized your government becomes, is a reflection on how destabilized you're gonna be. But we're gonna be standing on Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, because he is gonna deliver us, man. Okay, which is the Heavenly Father, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, okay? Because the whole world believes, how you doing today? Good morning, have a blessed day. You know, the whole world believes that the so-called white man's God. He's not. He's not, I'm sorry. And I was trying to get into that, but Gerardo left. But it is what it is, Gerardo. You have a good day, though. I'm glad you stopped by, man. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 2. Therefore chastenest thou them by little and little that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance wherein they have offended, that leaving their wickedness they may believe on thee, O Lord. And that's where it comes from, this wisdom. That they may believe on thee, O Lord. By getting this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This is why we got to seek the Lord. Okay? And he chastises us little by little. All right? I think Hebrews 12. He's just like a father. You know, a father would protect his kid by disciplining him. And that's what this ministry is about. It's about discipline. Ultimately, it's about suffering. Discipline to love. Okay? It's about all these things. We got to suffer for righteousness' sake. It's the book of Hebrews. If I can find it. I would just grab it out my phone, but the phone is too convenient. We're going to need this word inside of us. Hebrews chapter 12. I'll start at 4. Hebrews 12 and 4. Ye have not resisted unto blood, striving against sin. And we haven't resisted unto blood, striving against sin. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. You know, when you exhort somebody, you're trying to teach them something. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. That's right. Don't faint when thou art rebuked of him. Okay, he might be treating you a certain way. You might feel afflicted in the spirit. You might feel like giving up. You don't want to faint in that time, man. It's an affliction. It's a good thing that the Lord's doing these things to you, because he's preparing you for a time that's coming where most people, they're going to fail. He's going to chastise you, afflict you, but he's going to give you this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It's going to help you. Wisdom of Solomon, Hebrews 12 and verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Furthermore, We have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chastening us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. So the Lord is chastening us, not like our fathers for their pleasure. Okay, our fathers would chastise us for whatever reason they felt they needed to chastise us. That's what he means by their pleasure. But the Lord chastises us for our profit, okay? It profits you that the Lord's chastising you, because through the chastisement, he's going to teach you things, okay? He's going to teach you how to serve him and fear him. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, according to Proverbs 1:7. And that wisdom is going back to is going to give us that stability in the times that we're coming into. Proverbs chapter 1. Actually, I'll start from the top. Proverbs 1:1, the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. And we're reading about King Solomon and Wisdom of Solomon in the 12th chapter. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. That's wisdom. To know wisdom and instruction is to perceive the words of understanding. You need understanding. Okay? Let me grab this in the book of Proverbs. What's that, 4? And let me see. Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. With all thy getting, get understanding. Okay, so you need to understand. Okay. Proverbs 1:3, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice and judgment and equity. To give subtlety to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. That's what the young man needs. Knowledge and discretion. You need to have that discretion, especially during these times, man. You need this knowledge, man. You need to know who you are. You need to know who your enemy is, man. And you need to be prepared for the battle that's ahead of us. Proverbs chapter 1:5. A wise man will hear and will increase learning. Okay, so that's simple. You will hear. John 10 tells you, my sheep hear my voice and I know them and they follow me. Let me grab that. So you'll hear him, you'll continue to follow him. That's you increasing wisdom. All right? John chapter 10, verse... I'll start at 25. Yahushua answered him, I told you, and ye believe not the works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. So ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep. Okay, so that's why you don't believe. John chapter 10, verse 26, but ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. So if you are of his sheep, you would be listening. Okay? But you're not of his sheep. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. So they follow the Lord because they hear the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They ain't going to follow you if they don't trust you, if you ain't the Lord. Okay? And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. So they won't be plucked up. They're not going to be able to be taken away because they trust in the Lord. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 5, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. And a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels, okay? Starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down. That's where I learned this truth from. You can look them up on the internet, man, and fill your cup up, all right? And you maybe get on a level. Maybe the Lord will show you something you didn't know before. Proverbs 1 verse 6, to understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. That's to know wisdom. Okay, these proverbs in this book, okay? The dark sayings in the Bible. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So the fools, they're going to despise the wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother, for they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Slakia. So that's pretty much it on that. Okay? It's wisdom and knowledge. There's the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So you need to learn how to fear the Lord. All right? Because when you fear the Lord, you're going to be obedient to his law, statutes, and commandments. Going back into Proverbs 1 and 10, where it tells you that forsake not the law of thy mother. That's like you following, honoring your mother and your father. Okay? Which is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. It's the same thing. All right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and 3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of the Holy Land. And that's talking about those Canaanites. Okay? As a matter of fact, this ain't what I'm looking for. I think it's Wisdom of Solomon 14, as a matter of fact. But I'm going to finish this up. Whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices, because this is the same thing that's going on now. Amalek is like the damn Canaanite, man. That's who he worships. He worships these Canaanite gods that require sacrificing kids and drinking blood and shit like that. Okay? He's the most wicked. And also those merciless murderers of children. And that's what they are today. Merciless murderers of children. Amalek. Okay? Look it up. Do your research. You know? That's the wicked. That's the head of the East Edomites. The head tribe of the Edomites, the Amalekites. And devourers of man's flesh. They drink, they eat, they drink, they eat human meat. Devourers of man's flesh. Edomites. I mean, this is talking about the Canaanites, but it applies to the Edomites today, because this is the type of shit they practice. Okay? And the feast of blood. They feast on blood. I think they call it adrenochrome or something, some shit like that. That's the thing in this kingdom, because it's wicked. Okay? You're not supposed to drink the blood, eat the blood and shit like that. You're not supposed to eat the blood, man. Let me grab that precept. Let me grab that precept real quick. You're not supposed to eat the blood because it's the life in it, KJV. Deuteronomy 12, verse 23. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. And that's what Esau does. That's showing you he's wicked. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 6. With their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. Okay. Parents killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. You know, performing these ritual sacrifices, man. You know, nowadays they might get kids, you know, orphans and shit like that, put them to death from other countries. They prey on people like that for sacrifices and shit like that. Okay? This is a wicked world we live in, man, and we got to be circumspect in this time, like it tells you in Ephesians, the 5th chapter, because the days are evil. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, in verse 7, that the land which thou esteemest above all other might receive a worthy colony of God's children. So the Lord got rid of all of them. You go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the Perizzites, the Hevites, the Jebusites. He put them all to death to allow a worthy colony of the Israelites. Okay, that's why he was getting them like that. That's why he was putting them to death, was how their wickedness, man. Their wickedness. So he even holds the heathen, he gives them a certain measure of wickedness that they can do before he gets them up out of there. Okay? And that's the measurement of Esau Edom. His wickedness is coming to an end because we're at the far end of his rulership. Okay? That's why when you go to the book of Revelation 12 and 12, it talks about he gonna come down with great wrath because he got a short time left. All right? He got a short time, man. Revelation 12 and verse 12, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Yeah, we dwell in the heavens because we are the kingdom of the kingdom of heaven is within us, the believers. Okay, it starts with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It's going to manifest itself when the Lord returns. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Woe means death and destruction. To the inhabitants of the earth. That means all people on the earth. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, which is coming down on all of us. But Jacob trouble is for Jacob, but everyone's going to be affected by that. Especially with this new New York City mayor. That's pretty much a sign of socialism, communism. People are pushing for something they don't have any clue, because they're so stupid they can't look at and see. So it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse, man. And it's starting in New York. It's starting in New York, and it's gonna spread to the rest of the country. Okay, and then they're gonna be taking away your rights. This place is gonna be just as bad. America's gonna be just as bad as Cuba. We're gonna be looking like Cuba. I say about next 5 years. Next 5 years, we should be fucked up in here. Don't worry. Ain't gonna be no more work. No, you ain't gotta worry about getting paid no more. All right? But then you got to fight for your life. All right? For the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath. He's gonna make an economic collapse. That's how the great wrath's coming. He ultimately gonna try to make you take an MOTB, some type of digital ID and all this shit. So it's good to watch the mayor and how he's going to implement these things, because that's what he's set up for. The Lord set these men up to be in these positions of power to bring forth his will. And we know what's coming. Because he knows that he had but a short time. And that short time is just like those Canaanites, man. Then what did he do? He set it up, the meek in their stead. Let me grab that. The Lord puts down the wicked and sets up the meek in their stead. KJV. No. Oh, meek in their stead. Something like that. KJV. Trying to roughly. Ecclesiasticus. Chapter 10, I'll start at 13. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that have it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Okay, so Esau's the most proud, so he's going to be overthrown utterly. Ecclesiasticus 10 and 14, the Lord have cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. So just like he did in the past, he's going to run it back again. He sets up the meek in their stead. The meek are the elect. Okay? The physician cometh to cut off a long disease. Ultimately, that's Yahweh Shai. It's going to cut you off, but he's going to set up the, being joint heirs with him, he's going to set up Israel, or the elect, as rulers and kings and priests on this earth. We're going to be a nation of kings and priests. All right? It was that's pretty much it on that. Wisdom of Solomon 14. And I forgot where it was, man. Where is the precept? Yeah, here it is. It is Wisdom of Solomon 14. I'm going to start at the top, though. Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 1. Again, when preparing himself to sail and about to pass through the raging waves, calleth upon a piece of wood more rotten than the vessel that carrieth him. For verily desire of gain devised that, and the workman built it by his skill. Talking about a boat. Okay. But thy providence, O Father, governeth it. For thou hast made a way in the sea and a safe path in the waves. So it's going into idolatry and how the foolishness of it, pretty much. You know, and it's comparing it to someone who made a boat with the rotten wood or whatever, you know. But it's all what it's ultimately saying. You thinking the boat got you to your destination, but it's really the Lord who prepared the pathway that allowed you to get to where you needed to go. There was an example in the book with Paul. He was on his way to Rome, and the ship was starting to capsize. He was telling them to get rid of all this stuff, but he said we were going to make it. Okay, so he trusted in the Lord, and exactly what the Lord said was going to happen happened. Long story short. Okay. So the Lord was dealing with him. It wasn't the boat. It was ultimately the Lord. All right. Wisdom of Solomon, just like in the book of Jonah. In the book of Jonah, Jonah was in the bed of the boat while it was shaking, and they knew it was him that was causing all of that. The raging seas, they knew it was the Lord, so they blamed it on him and they threw him off the boat. Okay, so the Lord does all these things. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. Bad police out today. Wisdom of Solomon 14, in verse number 4, showing that thou canst save from all danger, yea, though a man went to sea without ark, nevertheless thou wouldest not that the works of thy wisdom should be idle. And therefore do men commit their lives to a small piece of wood, and passing the rough sea in a weak vessel are saved. Yeah, you commit your life to a small piece of wood, but in all actuality, it's the Lord that he's guiding it. He's the one who determines if you're gonna make it to your destination. He's in control of life or death. Okay, but a lot of people give that. Give it over to the piece of wood or the boat. You know, they think, oh, well, it was the integrity of the boat that allowed us to make it. No, it was the Lord, man. Showing you, you know, comparing it to idolatry. You know, you might think your idol saved you. That's because you got a lack of wisdom. And eventually, that idol's gonna fail you because the Lord's not dealing with you. Okay, your ship gonna capsize in the time to come. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. In verse 6, for in the old time also, when the proud giants perished, the hope of the world governed by thy hand escaped in a weak vessel, and left to all ages a seed of generation, just like Noah. Okay? Noah created an ark. The Lord killed everybody else but him. Okay? Because he was protecting them and everybody else, it was time to be judged. Okay. For blessed is the wood whereby righteousness cometh. That's right. Blessed is the wood whereby righteousness cometh. Okay. Meaning it was the Lord dealing with Noah, you know, that pretty much allowed him to create a vessel that was going to sustain the judgment that was coming. Okay. It was the Lord guiding him to do that. But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well as he that made it. He, because he made it, and it, because being corruptible, it was called God. Exactly. And it, being corruptible, it was called God, meaning idols. So the person who created the idol and the person believing in the idol are both cursed. Okay, this is why we need to be trusting in Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, the true God of Israel. All right, for the Israelites, who's coming to save Israel. And once you know you're an Israelite, there's a certain behavior you need to be in. Okay, you need to be you got to be seeking the Lord, and you got to be keeping the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, seeking the Lord, doing all of these things. That's what he requires of you in Deuteronomy 10, verse 12. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and verse 9. For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto God. For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. That's right. It's like Esau. He set up a huge idol. He set up the biggest ship and gave all types of glory to him to be in the position of power that he's in today. But that ship, what you're starting to see, is like the Titanic. He's singing the song as the ship's going down. I'm telling you, it's going down, man. And just like that ship is snapped in two, that's why you see it's just like what you see today. All right? Kingdom divided shall not stand. In Mark the 3rd chapter. And if Satan be against Satan, that kingdom cannot stand, roughly paraphrased. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing more division, more uproars, more just. Eventually, it's gonna lead to swords and a violent uprising of people fighting each other, especially for resources. Ain't gonna be anything to eat in the near future. Famine's coming. Jacob's trouble's coming. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, in verse number 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God they are become an abomination, and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. Yeah, these idols, they're like a snare, man, a stumbling block. You believe it in the biggest stumbling block is the so-called white man, Jesus Christ. Okay, you should understand, according to Revelation, the 1st chapter, that the Lord doesn't look like that. Okay, but only wisdom would show you these things. The fear of the Lord, it'll show you these things. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. It'll show you these things, man. This is why it's important that you learn these things and not be as a kid anymore. Tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine. Let me grab that. Where's that at? We should be not like children anymore. KJV. Ephesians 4, verse 14. Let me read 13. Ephesians 4, verse 13. It says, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. And that's what these different these different doctrines are like the wind. That's gonna cause your ship to capsize, man. Okay, and the Lord, this is like a destroying wind. This word, man, causing Esau's boat to capsize, man, and everybody that's on it, while we standing upon the rock watching it fall. We're not jumping into the water to try to go save everybody on the boat that's collapsed. We told you to get off of it. You're gonna crash into an iceberg, man. Okay, that's where Babylon's going. It's about to crash. It already crashed, man. It's already crashed. You're not aware that the ship's sinking. The message ain't get to you yet, man. You still listening to the musicians on the dock playing the violin. Okay, you still waiting for the song to stop singing, but the song's been over. All right. The captain already knows it's over. Esau knows it's over. That's why he's allowing communism to come into New York, which is the heart of America, man. Once it starts there, it's going to be easily spread out to other states. All right? In those red states, Texas is already trying to lock up you Democrats, man. He's already trying to lock you up. I think Greg Abbott is his name. He was already trying to lock you up. So they already left out of that place. So I wouldn't be surprised that they start going to war with each other. All right? Because the duck already said he ain't gonna be sending no money to New York. So how is he gonna fund it? As a matter of fact, I was watching Ma'am Donnie last night. He was saying how I'm not even from New York. I'm just watching him see the prophecies, man. All right. He was basically saying he gonna use taxpayer money to do whatever he needs to do to be inaugurated in January the 1st, which is right around the corner, man. Today's November 5th or 6th or something like that. So November, December, and then January. So there you go. He's gonna be in office using your tax-paying dollars, but he promised you to do all these things. He's not gonna do all these things. He don't even got the respect of the government. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna see, man. So people gonna be it's gonna get tough out there, but it's gonna get tough everywhere. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. In verse 12, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life. Okay, so that's what the devising of idols has done, man. It's corrupted us. All right, and this word is bringing us back into incorruption, man. Okay, this word is bringing us into eternal life, because corruption leads to your death, man. Okay, it tells you in Exodus, the 20th chapter, that you shall have no other God but me. Okay, and there's many gods out here that people are stumbling over. False gods. And Esau this is supposed to be a Christian nation. He got all different types of temples here. Elam just celebrated some wicked ass holiday where they go through cow dung and shit like that. Put cow dung on their faces. Nasty ass motherfuckers, man. I don't know how else to explain that. It's disgusting. All right, so Esau got all these heathen up here, and none of them serve the Lord, man. Doing all different types of temples. That shit shouldn't be here in a Christian nation. And you think you're gonna prosper? That's against the laws. That's against the laws of God. That's wicked. And what's more wicked? You allowing them here to do it, or them doing it? You allowing them here to do it. This is that harlot, man. Allows everyone to come over here, do whatever the hell they want. And that's wicked. That's why it's going to be destroyed. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 13. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. Yeah, neither were they from the beginning. A lot of these idols, Jesus Christ wasn't from the beginning. The letter J was created in 1524. Jesus Christ wasn't in the garden, man. Nah, that was Yahweh. Okay? And Adam was Yahweh Shai. Okay? But a lot of people, they don't know that. That's why you got to read the genealogy of the Lord. If you don't know the Lord's genealogy, Israel knew who they were, man. And the Lord finally gave us back our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. In verse number 14. For by the vainglory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. Yeah, the vainglory of men, they entered into the world. Look at Esau's idol. It's vain to think, oh, look at me. You know, I'm the Most High God. Worship my God for money, for some type of status. Vainglory, man. All of it's going to lead to you being destroyed, so it doesn't matter. But for Esau, he let him pile up his sins all the way up to heaven. He's the only nation he allowed all this just so he could show his wrath and indignation toward this devil, how much he hates sin. Okay, so imagine what he has up his sleeve if he's going to show you how much he hates you. It's not just going to be those thermonuclear missiles, man. Now as we get closer to the end, we're seeing the Poseidon missiles that are underwater, submerged underwater. They call it nuclear wastewater, nuclear radioactive seawater, tsunami, radioactive seawater tsunami, man. So even if you somehow survive it, that water is radioactive. So you might be in the middle of the states, it might hit the East Coast, and then the water flood all the way to the middle of the states. And if it touch you there, you're gonna be contaminated with radioactive seawater. You might choke on it. So somehow survive, man, you're gonna have a grievous death. Okay, it ain't gonna be no hospital to help you, man. You're gonna be just fucked up. All right, and the Lord just created that, and I know He got more up His sleeve as we get closer to the finish line. That's why I'm watching these things, man, because it just shows you it's the fear of the Lord we persuade men. So those things weren't created not to be used, man. They're gonna be used. All right. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and verse 15. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an image of his child soon taken away, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. And that's talking about Caesar Borgia and Pope Alexander VI, I believe his name is. Okay, when he died, they set up an image with Leonardo da Vinci and all of that. Michelangelo. But he's an ugly motherfucker when you look at him, so they had to make him more handsome try to make him more handsome so y'all will worship him. And you got these ceremonies, you got Christmas. Lord wasn't born in the dead of winter. Okay? He was born during the spring. Around the Passover. Okay? So, here you go. There you go, man. So who are y'all worshiping? Y'all worshiping somebody that doesn't exist. And that's going to be a problem. Because you're worshiping the dead man. Okay? Someone who actually lived and then died, and then they glorify him as if he was a god. Which is Jesus Christ, who sees your Borgia. Wisdom of Solomon 14 to 16. Thus in process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law. Engraven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings. Engraven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings. But there's gonna be a time where he's not even gonna be the one to he ain't gonna be able to save you, man. Because people who believe in that idol, man, they believe anything. You're gullible if you believe in him. He could tell you anything. You'll go take a jab shot. You're a guinea pig if you believe in that. If you believe that lie, it comes with a lot of it's very lucrative to the medical system. They all in. Jesus Christ is like that's the cash cow of the century, man. People cash in on that. That's why they get into Christianity, Catholicism. There's a lot of money in that. A lot of fools in this time, man, that are willing to give up their money, willing to go fight in Nigeria to go save people. People are getting beheaded over this foolishness. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, and verse 17. Whom men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off. They took the counterfeit of his visage from far and made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by this their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent as if he were present. Okay, they flattering him as he was dead, and you're flattering him. You're flattering a dead man. You worship a dead man. Okay, and that's the problem with this place, man. This is why it needs to be destroyed, because the whole world worships this dead man. Okay, ultimately, it's a way to worship Esau, Edom. Grab this in the book of Amos. If I can grab it. You know what? I might hold that too. Amos chapter 5. And Amos 5 and 18. In 18, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Yeah, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Woe means death and destruction. You know, the day of the Lord is when the Lord returns. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Okay? To what end is it for you? What end is it for you if you believe in a God that doesn't exist? You believe in an idol. Okay? What end is it for you? If you trust in a God that doesn't exist, man, what do you think your end's gonna be? Is it gonna be salvation? Is it gonna be peace? Is it gonna be mercy and grace when he comes? You've been worshiping a different God that's coming to destroy this place. What end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Yeah, it's not a day of rejoicing and having fun, man. It's darkness, death, okay? Mourning, lamentations, all right? As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. So that's the time of the Lord. Okay, just like Jacob's trouble, you're gonna be escaping all these things, and eventually, the snake gonna bite you, man. Okay, the snake gonna bite you, and you're gonna get through the bear, might get through the lion, but then the snake bite gonna get you. Eventually, you're gonna get got. There's gonna be too many things too many obstacles that you need to get through, and if you don't get through, if you get through one or even two, you're not gonna get through the third one if you're not a man of the Lord. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 17. Whom men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off, they took the counterfeit of his visage from far. So the counterfeit of his visage is what you worship today. It's not the actual image of Caesar Borgia. It's a counterfeit visage version of him that y'all worship, but it's still him. Okay, like I said, they made it more handsome, or made it more pleasant to the eye, I guess you could call it. I don't want to call it handsome, but you look at Caesar Borgia and you're like, you want to worship that. So that's why they made it a little more pleasant to the eye. Also, let me see. And made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent, as if he were present. Wisdom of Solomon 14, verse 18. Also the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorant to more superstition. Okay, yeah, he helped set forward the ignorant to more superstition. That's what Esau did by setting up these, especially that idol. For he, peradventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all his skill to make the resemblance of the best fashion. And that's what he did. That's why he had his best artist on making it. And so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for a God, which a little before was but honored as a man. And that's what y'all do. They honor somebody that was a man, you honor him as a God now. And this was an occasion to deceive the world. For men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommensurable name. Okay, so stones and stocks, man. Wood and stone. Okay. Incommensurable name. Let me look that up. Define incommensurable. Incommensurable means to be incapable of being communicated or shared, such as an incommensurable emotion or disease that cannot be transmitted. It can also be uncommunicative or reserved, like a person who does not share much information. An incommensurable name in a theological context is a name or attribute that is exclusive to God and cannot be shared with or fully understood by humanity. This concept distinguishes God's unique incomprehensible nature from the attributes humans can share, such as love or holiness, while the term can also refer to something inherently unable to be communicated. Its most prominent use is in theology to describe characteristics that belong solely to God. So that's what he tried to do, to trick you. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God, but whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. You know? So there you go, man. They erred in the knowledge of God, serving these idols. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another treacherously, or grieved him by adultery, and that's what we see today with this same idol. Same things going on now. So that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, and that's what we see today. With this God being exalted above the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua. Okay, murders, theft, all these things. Disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness. Yeah, changing of kind. Oh, now I want to be a woman. Now I want to be you can change your kind. Okay? For the worshiping of idols, not to be named, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. For either they are mad when they be merry, or prophesy lies, or live unjustly, or else lightly forswear themselves. For insomuch as their trust is in idols, which have no life, though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. Yeah, you look not to be hurt, but you're gonna be hurt. Howbeit, for both causes shall they be justly punished, both because they thought not well of God, which is Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, giving heed unto idols, and also unjustly swore in deceit, despising holiness. For it is not the power of them by whom they swear, but it is the just vengeance of sinners that punishes always the offense of the ungodly. And a just punishment is coming. All right, serving these idols. But I'm going to end it on this one. Daniel chapter 3, verse 18. As a matter of fact, yeah, Daniel chapter 3, in verse 17. If it be, I started 16. As a matter of fact, I'll start at 15. Daniel 3, verse 15. Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, or dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. It's going to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? So you better have the right God, man. Because you going into the furnace. Jacob's trouble is affliction. Okay? We going into it. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. And that's right. We're not going to worship that image, man. Okay? We're not going to bow the knee to the image of Baal. But I'm going to end it here. This was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rechak Kodash. Shalom, Abad Babal, and Kwam Yasharala.